Well, at this point, I am just trying out all of the different equipment that I have and see what looks good. You can see the camera on its little desktop stand. Hi. The camera that's overhead is not a great camera, so we're gonna see how this pans out. Let's see here. All right, so today y'all actually get to see the Pokemon binder. So let's see here. Fracture Pokeball pattern. I also managed to get a hold of one of the Gengar books that is just like this one. I was really happy about that. Gengar being one of my favorites. And like before, I'm just making it where I don't share any names or addresses, so because I know if I was a customer, I would not want my information sent out, especially on somebody else's YouTube channel. You know, if I doxed myself, I'd be okay with that as long as it was my information and it was my mistake. But I'd be pretty miffed if I got that kind of treatment and I didn't even do anything to deserve it. So same thing. It already comes in a penny sleeve. I put it into a top loader. I put it into a team bag. By the way, everything that you've seen on YouTube about those little pieces of plastic for the team bags, all that's true. It is absolutely the most terrible substance, and I don't even know how they manage that. It's the most terrible substance ever. And I know that I made that look very easy, but I have had times where I have been slinging my wrist to get that thing off my hand, and it just crawled down the entire length of my hand. And yeah, not a good time. Not a good time. Not a good time in the least. And that's literally all there is to a TCG player account and making money with singles. You make sure you get everything listed. Then when you get orders, you make sure that you pull them all in a timely manner and get them in the mail. I've never gone longer than 24 hours without getting an order put into my mailbox outside. It's fairly easy for me because my house is actually at the mailbox. So one of the things that I always hear, and this is what we're going to go through, because I feel like this is what people are scared of, right? At least I feel like that's what it is. I am choosing to not show the back end of my store, just in case an address pops up or something of the sort. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to move this off screen. So when I go into the order, I am going to talk everybody through it so that everybody has a better understanding of this. Man, this Mogmockin artilleriist, that's got to be one of Etherdrift's like most popular commons or something. Because every time I turn around, if it's a single card or a small order, it always seems to be this card. I don't know why. Again, I got a trash can underneath my desk. I'm not just throwing that on the floor. So, same thing as always, right? Penny sleeve. Doesn't matter. I know it's a common, but I treat them all the same. I alternate between the top loader and the shield. Da-da-da. This does it. Same thing. Now, I'm not trying to get this as cheaply as possible, but I want to show you that you can still make money even on very low value cards. Okay, so if I look at this order, and I'll go ahead and show you the order side of it, right? If you look at the order side of this, you can see that it's one card. I made 8 cents. Now, you might look at that and go, 8 cents? Well, that's not even worth it. You didn't even turn a profit on it. Well, that's where I'm going to walk you through all the stuff that I do for shipping. All right, and as you can see, well protected, just like the rest of everything that I make or everything that I send out. Let me go ahead and walk through this, everything at a time, so we can do it all together. All right. So, now this actual order is I'm off screen, but I'm pulling up the order that we're looking at right now. So, the product amount, as you can see right there, is 8 cents, right? Since it's below $5, they add the $1.31 for shipping. So that puts me at a $1.39 in value for the whole thing. The fee amount is 50 cents. It brings my net amount to 89 cents. Now remember, 1 penny for the penny sleeve, 3 cents for the team bag, so we're at 4 cents, right? And then 8 cents for that shield, 12 cents. Then 5 cents for the envelope, right? So we're at 17 cents. And then we add 4 cents for the stamp, because you can't operate in the hundredths place. So altogether, 21 cents to ship it. Now, my raw value for this order is 89 cents. If I minus 21 cents from that, that puts me at making 68 cents off of a 8-cent card. So there's your value, even for the one card. That's the value. That's why it's also really, really important to make sure that you are getting your shipping costs to as low as humanly possible. Because you have to offer free shipping. You don't have to, but that gets people in the door coming to your store specifically. Okay, and then once they're in the door and they start buying things, if they don't hit the $5, then they get the $1.31 added to it, which pads your bottom line. So if they go over the $5, it's also important to do the same thing, because if they go over $5 but just barely, you're eating the cost of the shipping. But if you can get the shipping to as low as humanly possible, you're saving your margin as you go. All right, so here's a good example. Let me go ahead and pull this order. This order's 9 cards, right? Okay. Let me get everybody first. Ho ho. World Tyrant. Very nice. See here, Tyrox. They want 5 of. There's 3. And then 4. World Tyrant. All right. Now, when you go into this order, sometimes you got to click around. My least favorite button on the keyboard. Caps lock. It always gets me. Don't mind my wonderful typing skills. I type fast, but I still do the old stare at the keyboard thing. Okay, so I'll walk you through this one. So for the cards here, in total, it was 69 cents. Nice. And then, of course, it didn't hit my $5 for free. So it was a total of $1.31. Getting added back for the shipping came out to my order amount being $2. The fee amount was 58 cents, which left me making $1.42. All right, so with $1.42, $1.42. I gather up the cards, put them in penny sleeves. All right, just like that. And again, you know, under the table for privacy's sake. All right, now for protection, right? We are going to take the 3. Sorry, I don't normally do it that way. We take 2 because 2 is all I ever put into a top loader. All right, 2 into the top loader. You remember there was 4 here, and you remember penny sleeves can hold up to 10 cards. So we have 2 pennies, which is 2 cents. We have the top loader, which is 14 cents. So that puts me at 16 cents. Plus the team bag, which is 3 cents, which puts me at 19 cents. And then based on, again, I'm getting good where I can feel the card and I can kind of figure out whether it's going to be 1 or 2 stamps. But like I said, you will get to that point where you feel that way. But I would definitely say don't go with that. Even if you think that you've absolutely nailed the weight, even if you've practiced on these envelopes and just have nailed it a million times, it's going to be that one time that you don't weigh anything and you try to eyeball it that becomes the issue. So I am fairly certain that this is going to be a 2 stamper, but let's weigh it to be sure. Yep, I was right. And remember, you have to watch your margins. So you have to make sure that you're weighing it correctly because you don't want to put too much postage on there. All right, so that being said, we add the 8 cents to what we had before. So it cost me a total of 27 cents. Cost me a total of 27 cents to send this one out. Which means if we take our 27 cents and we deduct it from our $1.42, oh man, don't get me out here doing public math. Oh boy, hold on. $1.42 minus, made $1.15 off of 7 cards. We can go ahead and do that math too, since I'm sitting here with a calculator. So each card sold for 16 cents. Now that being said, this won't work out really well unless you really have your shipping technique, your shipping materials, and all of your shipping costs really extremely dialed in. If you have them dialed in, then you can make a decent profit selling the individual cards. It's the same thing, right? We are just taking the envelope under the desk, going ahead and doing the trifold. That good old trifold on the actual order. And then we'll go bam, because we need to search for the cards. All right, so we're in Ether Drift. The first one is a rare. So I need to turn around and go back and get my book that holds those. And move over to my Ether Drift section. I can't remember exactly what that card looked like. Let's see. And now that sounds familiar. Extremely familiar. Let's see here. Yeah, it was the Shark Pilot. Bam. Man, that Mocking Artillerist again. That must have been, there must be a lot of decks that use it. Or like, there must be some part of the meta. I haven't played, I didn't play when Ether Drift was a thing. I played before it. I played after it. But I didn't play during it. So, here's what we're going to do. And I'm going to show you how they're different, right? You always protect the rare, right? I don't want the rare to be damaged in any kind of way. So I'm going to go ahead and burn another penny to put on there. I am going to... I just trust the top loaders more. It's just lack of experience with the other ones. You'll see me switch between them because I'm trying them out. But so long as we get done things in the correct way. Let's see here. So this one is, and again, I'm just breaking down these orders so you can see the profit that actually exists, right? Okay. So, and it's the long game. You're not gonna become a millionaire overnight doing this. I got cursed with the that little staticky piece. It tried to crawl up my arm. Anyway. Okay. So, it says my product amount was 34 cents. Again, it wasn't at the $5. So, that amount moved from 34 cents. They added $1.31 to it for the shipping, which put the total order amount for this order at $1.65. Okay. The fee amount on that order was 54 cents. Okay. So I am looking to net $1.11. Okay. That's before I take my shipping into account, right? So add $1.11, right? Let's go ahead and, we'll sit here and we'll count up the cost for this card, or these two cards. So I had 2 pennies. They got written into here, right? So that put me at 2 cents. Then I had the top loader, which put me at 14 cents. So that I'm at 16 cents, right? Then the team bag, which is 19 cents, plus the envelope, which is 5 cents, so we're at 24 cents. I will weigh it, but based on the weight that I feel here, it's probably 1 stamp. So 4 cents, so that puts me at 28 cents. Feel free to call me out if my public math is not correct. Minus our 28 cents for cost. So we made 83 cents, which if you divide it by between the 2 cards, each card was worth 42 cents. For public math, it was 0.415, but remember, money doesn't work that way. So I round up to 42 cents to get the cost. So each card was worth 42 cents. Now we all know that's not true based on just the order amount that you can see here, but that's how your profit averages out. That's profit is 0.415 per card. Okay, which puts it at 83 cents. Right? Because 83 cents is what you would make. So, packing the orders. Same thing. The only things that I don't account for, and you could pretty easily call me out for, is I do not account for this painter's tape because I painted my whole house, a lot of rooms, and I bought literally a mountain of painter's tape because I had to go over every baseboard, door frame, windowsill, everything. I have so many rolls of painter's tape, I don't think I will ever be able to go through them. That's how many I'm at. But painter's tape is cheap, and it's hard to keep track of when you're talking about individual pieces, because the pieces, some will be longer, some will be shorter. Are you measuring by the foot? Are you measuring by the inches? How are you determining, the individual cost of that? And I need that tape in my house anyway. I use it a lot more than just for this. So I don't count that. The other thing that I don't count is my stamp that I showed you in the last video. The stamp that I showed you in the last video that puts my return address on the actual envelope. I don't count that one anymore because I have done absolutely just hundreds of envelopes. Hundreds. And it just doesn't run out. I don't have to print new labels. That's what I was doing at the beginning, was just printing those little Avery return labels, right? Don't do that anymore. So I replaced it with a stamp, and if I'm not mistaken, that stamp wasn't that bad. By the way, I weighed it. It actually, yeah, it's 1 stamp. I weighed it, or the stamper was like 35 cents. It was like a custom made, you put in all your information, you could put an image in there if you wanted to, that kind of thing. And yeah, so I did all that, and I think it was $35 to get that stamp. And I gotta say, I mean, I've used that stamp so much that if I was to equate a cost to it, to break it all the way down, I gotta be in the pennies. I gotta be in the sub pennies per stamp to put it on an envelope, because I've used that thing so much. So again, I don't count that in there because it's basically buying bulk. But there's no way to like quantify that. But other than that, I have packed all my orders, and hey, Team Lightsworn signing out for today.